My name is Teresa, and I'll be teaching this class. It's running on Thursdays, 11:15 to 12:15, and primarily the class is done seated. So I have a folding chair. You can use a folding chair or a sturdy chair, and feel free to do the whole class seated. You can do the whole class standing if you'd like. So either way works. If you're doing it standing, you can make sure that you're in proper alignment as far as your ankles, knees, and hips are about hip width apart, and you have a slight bend in the ankle, the knee, and the hip. So those joints are slightly flexed. And then all the other posture cues and everything else that we do, really, whether you're seated or standing or lying down for that matter, the same thing goes. All right. And I'll change it up a little bit per class.
Right.
But today we'll be using, if you have a straw and a balloon, a deflated balloon, you can bring that into the room or kind of run around and find that. If you don't have it, no problem. And then generally per class, I'll be having you do strength work with either water bottles, soup cans, or weights, sets of weights, Dynabands or exercise tubes, either of those, or a towel. Generally, a body towel is fine, or if you have a beach towel, so it's long enough, and a ball, a small ball, or a rolled up towel or a pillow works just fine. So you can use something like this. Even a playground ball works just fine, or a rolled up towel. Okay, so it's about 11:17. I think we can go ahead and get started, unless Michelle wants me to hold off a little bit longer. I think we're good to go. All right. So most importantly, have fun and just listen to your body. And always work through a pain-free range of motion. Modify anytime you feel that an exercise just doesn't feel right, or you have a gut feeling like, I don't think I should be doing that exercise. Just modify. If you can't figure out a modification that works, do an exercise that either we've done in class prior to that particular exercise, or an exercise you've done in another class that you enjoy and that feels comfortable. So the most importantly, that you keep moving and just moving your body. So we'll go ahead and get started. Keeping that in mind, I'm going to place you down so that you can get the whole view of the chair. Okay, and my feet. So starting out in a seated position, generally on the edge of your seat. So you're seated on your sits bones, the upper portion of the hamstring and the base of your pelvis. So you're not actually sitting on your buttocks. You're not actually sitting on the glute muscles, which would take you into a pelvic tilt, and that's not safe for your lower back. Maintaining an S-curve neutral spine. There should be a dip in the neck and a little dip in the lordotic arch in the lower back. The chest is open and lifted, and the back shoulder blades are contracted down and into your body. The navel is pulling in and up towards the sternum. And think about your hips, the front hip bones coming in and together and getting tucked into the navel. Your rib cage also is gently coming in and together and getting tucked into the navel. You want to have a little bit of an open feeling in the rib cage area to allow the front, side, and the back lung to expand with breath, like a balloon. So you really want to maintain that nice, flexible and non-rigid rib cage. But a little bit of tension there to keep your upper body where it should be in alignment. Your feet are slightly underneath your hamstring. So in other words, you're not all the way out and ahead, and you're not way back as far as you can get your heels. The heels should be planted on the floor and grounded, slightly behind the knee, directly underneath the lower portion of your hamstring, the back of the thigh. And let's go ahead and get started. We'll start by breathing in through the nose. That will help properly warm and humidify the breath and prepare it for the lungs, especially if you have a lot of heat and it's blowing dry heat in your space. It's nice to breathe into the nose and help warm and humidify and make that breath lung friendly. Take a nice deep breath, arms up, and exhale. And if you feel more comfortable to just lift the arms halfway, that's fine. Inhale again and exhale 2 more times, and exhale, and 1 more time. And relax, rolling the right shoulder and the left shoulder. Roll the shoulders back, right and left. Trying to expand and open the front and side lung. As your arm circles forward, you're opening and separating the shoulder blades a little bit to open up the back of your lungs, the back, upper back and shoulder blades. And let's reverse direction. Take it forward, contracting the chest, separating your shoulder blades behind you. Breathing deeply and relatively normally, just in and out, nice and easy. But have the breath be nice and full so you can get oxygen into the blood, and then the blood going into the hard-working muscles. They'll be working a little harder than this a little bit later. And relax. Shake out the arms, and then place your hands on your hips. Now take your right toe, put it into the floor, and circle the ankle. Ankle, knee, and hip. I have a little, okay, all right. And circle, circle. I'm sorry, Michelle, I didn't see that that text. I don't know if it was for me.
And actually, when the class is over, you can just read that out loud to everybody.
Oh, okay. When class is over? Okay.
Yeah. I just want to make sure everybody is able to access these classes on demand. So just remind people to stay after class if they want to learn how to do it. I'm going to show people. A lot of people want to take your class more than once a week. If they do, they can access the on demand, and I'll show people how to do that when the class is over.
Okay. All right. Great. Excellent. Thank you. All right. And circling the ankle inward, and circle, and relax. And then take the other foot, place the toe into the floor, circling through the ankle, the knee, and the hip, circling around. Comfortable, pain-free range of motion. And reverse direction. So if you feel a little bit of resistance initially, keep working, not too big, but just go in a small range of motion and try to just grease up the joint. We have synovial fluid in most of the joints in our body. So as we warm up, the synovial fluid will be moving through the joint, giving you a little more flexibility, freedom of movement, and pain-free range of motion. So the joint is technically getting greased up. So try it. If it still gives you a little resistance, just back off. It might be the weather. And march it out. Take a nice deep breath. So now you're marching the legs, lifting up and down. And if that's a little too much for your hips or lower back, you can just lift your heels up. Lifting up the heels, alternating right and left. 2 more times. And 1 more time. And exhale. Shake out the legs and shake out the hands. So going along with our S-curve neutral spine, your chin is parallel to the floor, and your head is actually not forward. The chin is slightly down and back, as if your fingers were pushing your chin down and slightly back. Allow your shoulders in front to stretch, and allow the back of the shoulders to contract and get activated. Then squeeze your shoulder blades together, down and in. So that'll help take care of the upper body's posture. Let's focus on stretching the neck. Flex your palms down by your side, and in this nice tall alignment, right ear to right shoulder, and stretch. You're stretching the left side of the neck, upper chest, top of the shoulder, and upper back. Breathing normally into the nose exhale, and again, inhale, and exhale. One more time, inhale, and exhale. Allow your head to float to center and then over to the left side. So continue flexing the palms. Allow your ear to come to the shoulder instead of the shoulder up to the ear. So keeping the shoulders relaxed, both right and left. And inhale and exhale. So your head weighs about 10 pounds. So this is quite a bit of weight for the neck to either hold up or access to increase your stretch. So if you just think about a 10-pound weight hanging over to the side, and these muscles are supporting and getting lengthened because of it. So you can actually access a deeper workout and a deeper stretch if you realize that the head weighs quite a bit. And then inhale and exhale, and allow the head to float up to center. Relax your arms and make little fists with your hands. Wrap your thumb around your index finger. Lift your shoulders up and lower your shoulders down. Lift and lower. So primarily we're activating the top of the shoulder, the upper chest, and upper back. And we'll go for 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. And then relax your hands, give them a little shake. You can continue with making a fist, or you can add the weights, or water bottles, or cans of soup. So reaching your weights safely and slowly, making sure that you keep your weights close to you, keeping them close to your body. Bring them down by your side, and you'll be lifting your shoulders up and down, and up and down. So we warmed up the neck and the shoulders, we stretched out the neck and the shoulders, and now we're working out the chest and the neck and the shoulders. So it's a nice progression to increase exercise and to make sure you're warmed up and stretched out and ready for more work. And let's go for 4 more. Lift 4 and 3, last 2 and 1. Relax your arms at your side. And now, just like the neck, when we were stretching the neck, the head is a 10-pound weight. So we have weights or resistance hanging off of our hands. So allow that to increase the stretch for the shoulders, upper chest, and upper back. Drop your left ear to left shoulder and feel the stretch on the right side of the neck. It may feel a little bit more intense than when we were just making a fist or flexing our palms. And enjoy the stretch. If it feels like it's a little bit too much, just place your weights on your thighs, and that'll lessen the resistance because your weights are being supported by your thighs. But if you feel like, oh no, this is pretty good, you can release both arms down towards the floor. Feel that you're holding onto these weights and feel the added resistance. And then add the head, lengthen, 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 bring it up, and then bring it over to the other side. So your arms are hanging by your side, and enjoy the stretch on the left side of the neck, upper chest, shoulder, upper back. Inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale, and bringing the head right back up to center. And let's do 1 more set. So you can opt out of the weights if the first set was a little bit heavy and you feel like I want to just go easy, or you can just keep your hands on your thighs and do it even in a more relaxed fashion, even without the arms. Or you can add a little bit more resistance by imagining that you have a heavier weight. So lift and lower. You can really add a lot more resistance by just visualizing, oh, I have 8-pound weights instead of 4. Or I have the larger water bottle or can of soup instead of the smaller one. And visualize also that you're pressing your arms up and you're pressing your arms down. The arms are coming up and down. And let's just do a handful more. 2 more. And 1. Allow the arms to relax down at your side or your thighs. Right ear to right shoulder. Hold it there. And then just to add a little variation, roll your head down and over to the left and stretch. And then again, roll the head down and over to the right. And 4 more times, down to the left and down to the right, down and left and down and right. And then gently roll the head right down to the center and look straight ahead. Place the weights on your thighs and let's get the lower body going a bit. So your feet are hip width apart and in the same position as we did in our warm up. You're going to lift your right foot up about 1 inch or 2 and lower it. Then the left foot up 1 inch or 2. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Primarily, we're working on the core, pelvic floor, lower abdominal, front hip, which is the hip flexor, and the front upper thigh. All those muscles are working together to lift your leg up. And the muscles opposing those muscles are stretching to allow for this motion to happen. So sometimes a movement like this might not feel comfortable. It may not be because you lack strength in those muscles that are actually doing the work. There might be just a little bit of a tight muscle in the opposing muscle group of the muscle group that you're working. So in other words, your hip flexors might be strong and fine, but the hip extensors behind your hip flexors might be tight. So just listen to your body, continue to work through a pain-free range of motion. And at the end of our 6 weeks, you'll be feeling very tuned up and hopefully a more balanced exerciser. And let's go for 4 more. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Relax, take 2 deep breaths and exhale. And 1 more inhale and exhale. Let's start with the left leg, keeping the legs just as they were in the first set, lifting the left foot up and the right foot up. And you can just lift the foot about 1 inch or so off the floor. If you can comfortably lift it up a bit higher, go for it. But just make sure that you're not rocking side to side, keeping the upper body, your posture, your alignment and core very braced, very still, lengthened and rigid. And we'll go for 4 more. And 4, 3, 2, and 1, and relax. Let's put the weights down and do a few stretches for our thighs. Slowly and carefully put those weights down, and then angle your body to the left. Slide that right leg back behind you so that the toes and ball of your right foot are pressing down into the floor. Tuck your pelvis under. Lengthen that hip flexor, the front portion of the core, pelvic floor, core, and upper quadricep. So we're tucking under, squeezing and contracting the opposing muscle, hamstring, hip extensor, glute, so that we stretch the front muscles, the muscles in front. Lengthen the body, inhale and exhale. And then again, inhale and exhale. Slowly ease back and change sides. So now all 10 toes are pointing to the right. You're lifted up high onto the curled under toes and the left ball of foot. Tuck the buttocks under like you're doing a pelvic tilt. Squeeze and contract the buttock, the extensor, and a little bit in the lower back so you can stretch the hip flexor. inner thigh, abdominal, and pelvic floor. Lengthen your spine. Inhale and exhale, keeping that pelvic tilt. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale, deep breath. And exhale. And then slowly release. Bring the upper body center. March it out. Take a nice deep breath. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. So let's take a little bit of a core break. Generally, when we think about core, we think about the abdominal core, and that's very important. There are 6 muscles, the internal and external obliques that laterally tilt the spine and rotate. And then we have the rectus abdominis, which is the abdominal muscle that generally we can see if we're looking at a bodybuilding competition and you see the 6-pack or the 8-pack of those of the bodybuilders. And then there's the transverse abdominal, which is the deepest layer of abdominal that pulls in the navel, and it's as if you're tightening a belt. So those are a couple of visuals. You have rotation and lateral flexion. You have the flexion and extension of the spine or the 6-pack, and then the transverse abdominal like you're tightening a belt. So I'll be going through this throughout the classes so that you can start to really get in tune to what exactly the core is. So that's the abdominal core. Then we also have the hips. I briefly touched upon those. And then the pelvic floor. So let's talk a little bit about the pelvic floor, which is the base of your abdominal, with the base of your core. Imagine you drank a lot of water before class and you have to go, but you don't want to miss class. So you have to hold it, okay? Hold it. So that's how you can access the pelvic floor, the area between the pelvic bone and the tailbone. So we're going to think about that as we're going through some nice normal breaths and comfortable in and out breaths. And I'll try to give you some visual cues to help access the pelvic floor. Place your hands on your thighs. And again, imagine you drank a lot of water. So we're lengthening and lifting the torso, and then now we're holding it. You have to go, but you have to hold it, and hold it, and hold. Continue to breathe normally, and hold. And now relax. Breathe normally. We're going to try to access another visual to help you connect with your pelvic floor. So now imagine the base of the pelvic floor is an elevator. You still have to use the restroom, but you're hopping on that elevator, and the elevator is rising up, 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 deep into your body, from the pelvic bone to the tailbone. So again, breathe normally, hop on the elevator, hold it, come up, hold it, come up, hold it, come up, hold it, come up. Continue to breathe normally, but hold it, hold it, hold it. And then slowly ride the elevator back down. So now we're going to add a third visual. You're actually going to do quicker motions, like you're holding it and releasing, holding it and releasing. So the hands are comfortably on your thighs. Breathe normally. And now, I have to go to the restroom. I'm getting on that elevator, but you're contracting and releasing. Contracting and releasing. It's like the elevator is hesitating at each floor, and you come up a little higher and release. Come up a little higher and release. Come up a little higher and hold, 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 and then slowly down a little and hold, down a little and hold, down a little more and hold, and finally back down and relax. March out the legs, take a few deep breaths, inhale and exhale. So those are called Kegel exercises. They work a very important core muscle, which is the pelvic floor. So that is something that you can practice anywhere anytime with any amount of holding or pulsing or contractions, any length of time. Just don't hold your breath when you're doing a long hold. Keep your breathing normally. Keep a normal breath. You can also try it as you're going to bed at night, going to sleep, when you're lying down comfortably. And when you wake up in the morning, it's a nice way to ease you into the day. And other than breathing normally, another important point when you're working on that area at the base of the pelvic floor, the base of the core, the pelvic floor, is not to contract your abdominals, your thighs, or the buttock muscles. So try to really just isolate the area between the pelvic bone and the tailbone. You can do the Kegels in any exercise. So if you're squeezing and doing an ab workout, pull the abdominals in and add the pelvic floor or the buttock muscles, absolutely. But when you're getting going and starting to create a connection of where the pelvic floor is and how it feels when I contract it, try not to access any other musculature, okay? So let's take 2 more deep breaths. Inhale, arms up and down. And 1 more, up and down. Let's go ahead and grab the pillow or the ball. Place the ball between the knees. Your legs are in your starting position, so that's the heels slightly behind your knees. Feet are hip width apart, toes, knees, and hips are facing forward. Press your palms together. So we're going to be accessing our wrist and forearm, bicep, tricep, and chest muscles, and the inner thigh, groin, and pelvic floor by squeezing the ball. So we're going to be pressing our palms together and squeezing the ball. Let's do 8 breaths. Inhale. Press the ball, press your palms together, squeezing the inner thighs, pelvic floor, as well as your arms and chest, and relax. And I hear those questions. I hear them loud and clear. Can I do my Kegel? The answer is absolutely. So you can access, I drank too much. I have to go to the restroom. Hold, hold, hold. You can add that. Let's do 6 more breaths. And 6. And relax. And 5, and relax, and 4, press your palms, squeeze the ball or pillow, and relax. Just a couple more, and 1 more, and hold, and hold, and hold, and hold, and relax. Hold on to the ball into the left hand. In the left hand, march out the legs and just transfer the ball from the left hand to the right and from the right to the left, and keep marching. So if you're looking at a computer screen or your phone or the TV screen, have a soft gaze into the phone, into your device, and try not to look at the ball. Try not to look at the transfer. This is helping develop your proprioception, which is very important in balance and knowing where your body is when you're in motion in space, whatever that space may be, indoors or outdoors. And it's a very important aspect of balance, as well as a strong core and nice tall alignment. So it's all very important. And 4 more, and 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Let's place the ball back between our knees. If you'd like a deeper contraction, walk your ankles and your feet closer together. If you'd like to activate a little bit more of your thighs, bring your heels farther underneath the chair or underneath the hamstrings. So farther back and closer together. Press your palms together. Notice how my elbows are sloping out gently away from my rib cage. Take normal breaths. Inhale. Exhale, press your palms, your knees, and yes, your pelvic floor. Hold it and release. And hold it and release. You're squeezing your inner thighs, pelvic floor, and release. The buttock muscles are probably engaged as well as the hips, and release. And of course, your palms, wrists, arms, and chest. And last few. Inhale when you relax. Exhale when you press. Inhale and relax. Exhale when you press. Inhale, relax. Exhale and press. And one more. Inhale, relax. Exhale and press. And relax. Please reach for the ball with your right hand. Walk your feet a little away and a little out if they were in and back, and march it out and march it. Start that soft gaze. Use your proprioception and try not to look at the ball and just change hands. If you want to up the ante a bit, make it a little more challenging, bring your ball over your head to the other side. Usually this is when balls go flying all over the room. That's fine. Don't worry. Now, basically, you'll sense a little bit of motion with your arms, but even with proprioception, you may not even see the ball. And that's good. That means that you know where you are in space. You're making a connection, transferring the ball, transferring the towel. And 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. And relax. Place the ball back between the knees. Starting position, just as usual. Not too far back, not too close together. We're going to utilize the ball or pillow or towel and work the Kegels, the pelvic floor, just that. No arms and breathing normally. So you're just going to squeeze the ball and pelvic floor. Oh my gosh, I had 3 bottles of water before class. I really have to go. Hold it and release. And again, hold it and release. And yes, you're squeezing the ball a bit, but try to just squeeze the ball from the inner thigh and groin area. Try not to squeeze the buttocks. Try not to squeeze the thighs too much. Try to really just isolate the pelvic floor. And let's do 3 more. And 3, and 2, and 1 more. And relax. Nice work, everyone. Let's go ahead and take the ball and just put it off to the side and grab your straw. So if you couldn't find a straw, you don't have a straw, I have these handy dandy stainless steel straws. So reusable. We'll take the right foot forward, left leg back. If you don't have a straw, no problem. Just purse your lips as if you were taking a sip or blowing through a straw. And think about the opening being as small as possible. So if you have some breathing issues and that doesn't make you feel comfortable, just practice. Breath work is important through your nose, through your mouth, and with a straw. So do whatever makes you feel comfortable. But the right foot is forward and you're going to close off your nose just internally. Place your lips around the straw and then you'll be just inhaling and exhaling through the straw 4 times. Okay, if you feel dizzy or lightheaded, please discontinue and breathe normally. So your right hand is on your right thigh, right foot forward. Breathe normally in and out of the straw just from your mouth. Try to close off your nose. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Change legs and let's give it another go. So again, if I didn't have a straw, I'm just going to make a little pursed lips circle, and I'm inhaling and exhaling through pursed lips and relax. Breathe normally, change legs, and let's give it another go. This time, try to notice the pressure in the abdominal cavity. Also, if you feel comfortable, increase the amount of breath that you're pulling in through the straw, whether real or imagined, and out, okay? If you're a little worried about being dizzy or lightheaded, don't do it, okay? Here we go. Let's go for 4 more. So a deeper, longer inhale and exhale. And breathe normally. Change legs. Notice, how are you feeling? Do you feel a little dizzy or lightheaded? You may. I do. You're infusing your body with a lot of oxygen, so you will probably feel a little lightheaded. Or if you're not comfortable, you might not be bringing in as much. So proceed with caution. Let's do one more set around the straw. The lips are around the straw, or not if you don't have one. Inhale. Two more longer, slower breaths. And relax. Breathe normally. Put your straw down. Congratulations, you just successfully completed the first ever straw workout. March it out. Take a deep breath and exhale. And inhale. And exhale, shake out arms and legs. So we are working pelvic floor, and that really helps access the diaphragm. So you're getting your whole core, which is a great thing. We hardly talk about that part of the core, that aspect. All right, please grab your weights and let's hit those weights again. Brace your core from pelvic floor to diaphragm and everything in between, and grab onto the weights. Palms are facing forward. Roll the shoulders back. You're going to curl the palms up and slowly lower them down. So you're curling the arms up and you're lowering them down. Curl up and down, and up and down. So not only are we working hard on the way up, gravity is pulling on those weights and making it really, really hard right about there. It gets a bit easier when you're more than half all the way up, and then when you're almost down. So really be very thoughtful of what muscle groups you're working when it's in the really difficult zone, right about here to here. Contract that bicep muscle, squeeze it. Like you're showing your friend, I took an exercise class and look at my muscle. So you're actually trying to visualize that you're contracting your muscle a little bit more. And squeeze and contract, not only on the way up, but you're pressing your arm down. You're pulling up and you're pressing down, pulling up and pressing down, pulling up and pressing down. Place the weights on your thighs and extend your right leg so you can relax your upper body a bit. You don't have to use the weight in the front leg raise. You can place the weights on your bent knee, but if you feel you want to, place the weight right on top of that right quadricep, the right thigh. You're just lengthening and lifting the leg just about an inch or two off the floor. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. So when we did this exercise with a bent knee, you were working the hips, the upper thigh, and the pelvic floor, lower abdominal as well. Now we're working all of those muscles as well as the lower portion of the quad and the shin, especially if you're really flexing your foot. So I suggest you really flex your foot. Try to imagine that your leg is getting longer and longer with each consecutive repetition. Notice how the exercise gets harder. You're putting your mind's eye into what the body is doing and trying to challenge it without necessarily using more weights. And it all counts. Let's do 2 more, and 1. And then relax, change legs, extending the left leg out, engaging the core, engaging the upper thigh, the hips, pelvic floor, and abdominal, but try to think about straightening your leg, really stretching it out, really flexing your foot. Some muscle has to be responsible for straightening the leg. It's the quadricep. When it's activated and flexed, it straightens the leg. It helps pull the kneecap up to the quadricep, up to the thigh. And the foot is being flexed by the muscles on top of the foot, the top of the ankle, and the shin. So you're working those muscles. Let's go for 4 more. And 4, 3, 2, and 1, and relax. Slide that leg in. Notice how your legs are feeling. They're probably awake with exercise, and lots of that oxygenated blood is going there to give your legs energy to do these exercises. So it all works together. Palms are facing forward. Curl the wrists under a little bit. Roll the shoulders down and back, and let's do a second set of bicep curl. Now remember what you're telling your friends after class. Look at what I did in class. I worked my muscle. Show the person the muscle. And that's what you think about for the full range of motion, but especially when it gets hard. Mid-range, right there. And let's go for 8 more. Make a muscle. Flex that front portion of the upper arm. Keep the posture lifted and tall. And last 4. And 1 more. And hold it. Hold it in the up position. Lower the arms down slowly for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then place the weights on your thighs. Roll the shoulders back. Circle, 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 and reverse. We're going to add 1 more exercise for the lower body. So placing the weight right on the thigh, extend the leg out, going to lift, bend, straighten, and lower. Lift, bend, straighten, and lower. And if you lift only an inch or so off the floor, that's fine. Lift an inch, touch your heel to the floor, slide it back a little bit, and extend back out. So modify, either low or a bit higher, or as high as you comfortably can, as long as you're maintaining lifted alignment, tall posture, and braced core. Keeping the body very still. And now we're marrying the quadricep work with the hamstring work. And let's go for 4 more. 4, quadricep, hamstring. Quadricep, hamstring. The hamstring is responsible for flexing the knee, and that's bending that heel back to the back of the thigh, the hamstring. And 1 more. And relax. Slide the leg back in, and let's do the same thing on the other side. You don't have to shift side to side. I'm trying to give you a view so that you could see. It's hard to see exactly what I'm doing if I'm facing straight, straight onto the computer. So you're extending the leg out, you're lifting, curling, extending, and lowering. Lift, lift, lift and curl, extend and lower. Quadricep front thigh and hamstring back thigh. And 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, and 1 more. Good. And slide it in. Circle the right ankle around and reverse. Circle the left ankle around and reverse. And now placing the right foot forward, left leg back, hold on to your weights at your side and you're just hinging forward just a tiny bit. So upright to hinge, it's maybe 5 to 10 degrees, not too much. Inhale, as you exhale, you're pulling the elbows back and you're lowering them down. Pull the elbows back and lower down. And this exercise is primarily working the back of the shoulders, the upper back, trapezius muscle, and the muscles between the shoulder blades, the rhomboid muscles. So I want you to visualize cracking a walnut between your shoulder blades. Crack that walnut. And it might be initially quite challenging to access those muscles and to feel them. So much of our world is forward. So sometimes when the shoulders in the front are tight, it's hard to really get a good squeeze. So just take your time, and each class that you take, just gently encourage that the chest and front shoulders stretch and the back shoulders and shoulder blades contract. And doing those things are so important in trying to maintain proper alignment when you're upright, seated or standing or walking. And let's do a few more. Exhale, and one more. And then place the weights on your thighs, come up and roll the shoulders back. Reverse direction. And let's do a little lower body, lower leg exercise. You're pressing your hands into your thighs and your heels just come up and down, giving the upper body just a little bit more of a break and working the calves and shins just a little bit. Lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, and lift and lower. Excellent. Now take the left leg forward, right leg back. Your arms are at your side. Hinge forward about 5 to 10 degrees. Your chin is to the chest and slightly back, as if you're holding onto a grapefruit. And then inhale, as you exhale, pull the elbows back. Notice and feel the front of the upper body, the chest and the front shoulders stretching. And stretch. The shoulders don't lift up. Keep the shoulders down, away from your ears. And squeeze the back of the shoulders and shoulder blades. And really, really crack that imaginary walnut. Squeeze those shoulder blades down and in. Feeling the upper back, because that's holding on to a weight. Remember, our head weighs about 10 pounds. Something has to hold it up there, the upper back muscles. And 2 more, and 1, and relax. Place the weights on top of your thighs. You're hinging forward still a little bit more. Push your thighs into your hands into your thighs and lift and lower and just move those ankles around. Catch your breath a little bit from the upper body exercises. And last few. And 1 more. All right. And come on up to standing or seated. Nice tall seated position. All right. The very last exercise with our weights. It's going to be a little bit of a combination for our mind and activate our synapses and build some connecting synapses and building neurons. Your chest is open. Your shoulder blades are cracking the walnut, and you're extending the right arm up and lower, then the left, and then both arms. And now we'll do the same thing with the left arm first. So it's left and right and both up. And now right, right and left and both up. and left and right and both up. So that's our combination, okay? You lift right arm only, left arm only, and then both. And now our left arm only, right arm only, and both. Let's do 4 more rounds, and I'm going to zip it. You can do it. Three more rounds. If the weights are getting a little too heavy, you can put them down. Two more rounds. Here we go. We're in this together. We can do it. Woo! Last round. You made it. Woo! And one more. And I think it's a safe bet to say, let's put our weights away. We're done with them. Nice work, guys. Lowering your weights down very slowly and close to your body is really important. You don't want to bring your arms out and away with this heavy weight hanging and off to the side. It can be a little bit of a strain for your back or your shoulder. So just lower it down slowly, keeping it close to your body. Engage and embrace your core. And then come on up. You can embrace your core, you can brace your core. Both work. Go ahead and grab your balloon. So if you have a balloon handy, I can't imagine why you wouldn't. So we're going to do more diaphragmatic breathing, diaphragmatic workouts for the upper portion of our core. So we're going to be in a nice seated lengthened alignment just as we started class. Ear, shoulder, hip, S-curve neutral spine. Chest is stretching, you're cracking your walnut, your abs are tight, and you're sitting high in your sits bones. Your ankles, knees, and hips are like train tracks, okay? Brace your core, breathe in through your nose, and let's try to blow up that balloon 4 breaths, all right? Inhale, and woo! I was lucky. I didn't know if I could do it. Sometimes I can't. Again, breathing in the front lung, side lung, back lung. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale. If you don't have a balloon, no worries. Inhale. Front lung, side lung, back lung. Blow out the candles on the birthday cake. Blow into an imaginary balloon. Again, inhale in through the nose. Front lung, side lung, back lung. And then relax. Breathe normally and deflate your balloon. All right? March it out. Inhale and exhale. And again, inhale and exhale. Let's try that one more time. Now, if you were a little dizzy or lightheaded or something about that just didn't seem right, just breathe normally and just practice moderate, gentle breaths, expanding and breathing in the upper lung, side lung, and back lung. But otherwise, if you felt really good, go for it. Breathe in a little more deeply. So breathing in front lung, side lung, back lung. Inhale, exhale. Again, inhale, front lung, side lung, back lung. Exhale. Inhale again, front, side, back. Blow up that imaginary balloon. Again, inhale, front, side, back. Blow out that imaginary balloon. And then you can let it go. Woo! That was the most fun I had all day. March it out. Inhale, arms up. And exhale. And inhale. Excuse me. And exhale. Shake out arms and legs. Make a fist with your hand. Wrap your thumb around your index finger. Go back to your lengthened posture and circle the wrists around. It's a nice stretch for the wrists. And it really keeps them supple and lubricated And it feels good after all the weightlifting that we did. And then reverse direction and down. And again, inhale, reverse the circle, reach the arms up and side, up and side, up and side. Reverse the circle of the wrists all the way down. Shake out your hands and feet. And now place your hands on your hips. Circle the right ankle all the way around. The ankle, the knee, and the hip. You may hear some snap, crackles, and pops. No, this isn't a Rice Krispies commercial. It's the gases that might be trapped in your joints that have an opportunity to come out because you're lubricating your joints, you're working your joints in your body, and you're adding range of motion. So with that range of motion, gases are released. Isn't that nice to know? Other foot, circle around. The only time you should feel alarmed is if something inside says, oh, that doesn't seem quite right, I don't know, or it hurts. So it should always be pain-free range of motion. But listen to your gut. Listen to the messages it sends. In a lot of instances, it's spot on. And let's march it out. Inhale, arms up and arms down. And now hug your thumb. So right foot forward, left leg back. You're hugging your thumb gently, especially if you have arthritis in hands and wrists, carpal tunnel, very gently. And circle your wrists around and bring it all the way up. Lengthen your spine, keep lifting. Reverse direction on the way down. Go a little bit more slowly if an up tempo feels like it's too much of a pull. Reverse direction and bring it back up. Stretch your torso, reach, 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 and then reverse direction all the way down. And then shake out the hands. With the right leg forward, just bring the right hand out. With perfect posture, that lengthened posture, and you're just pressing the right palm out and you're saying, stop, no more exercising. We're almost done. You made it. Pull your fingertips back gently. Shoulders down, crack your walnut, lengthen the arm. Inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale. And then gently fingertips down and cup the hand down. So fingertips are down, the other hand gently presses and pulls that arm into the body, nice and easily. And relax. Give it a little bit of a shake, a little circling. Change legs. Left hand is saying, no more exercise. Stop. And I say to the left hand, we're almost done. So gently pull back. That's the good news. Inhale. And the even better news is you probably feel a little bit better than you did an hour ago. I sure do. And then fingertips down and gently cup the hand, pull it in. Feel the stretch on the top of the wrist, the forearm. Elongate that arm. Very gentle, gentle, gentle pull. And relax. And then place your hands on top of your thighs. And now you're tapping your toes. So we did quite a few heel raises, ankle raises. Now we're lifting our toes up. Tapping and tapping. So a final opportunity to strengthen the outer portion of your shins, the outer portion of the lower leg, the shins, and stretch the calf and the Achilles tendon to keep flexibility, strength, and mobility in a very important muscle, the foot and the ankle. So if we have flexibility, strength, and mobility, greater range of motion, we're basically working on fall prevention. So this is balance work. And relax. March it out. Take 2 deep breaths. Exhale. One more. And my favorite stretch, interlace your arms behind you. Open up the chest. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And I'm inviting you to crack 2 walnuts. Not just 1, but 2. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Open up the chest. Open up the front shoulders. if you work at a computer or if you're doing any movement that keeps you forward, you're cooking, needlework, driving, desk work, working at the computer or desk, do this at least twice an hour for a couple of breaths. It'll keep the posture in check. It'll keep all the muscles that should be lengthened, and the ones contracted, to keep you in a nice, lengthened, lifted, optimal posture. And relax, and take 2 more deep breaths. Exhale 1 more time. Inhale all the way up. Exhale halfway down. Wrap your arms and give yourself a good hug. You guys earned it. Wonderful job. I'm so glad that you signed on. It was a nice big group, and I can't wait to see you next week, Thursday. And please stay here because Michelle will instruct you on how to access these classes more than just on Thursday, more than just once a week. So have a beautiful week and a beautiful weekend, and we'll see you next Thursday.